So, I want to tell you guys a story on how I fell in love with a man only to find out he's my dad. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to finish the story, but yeah, I'm going to try to say just the important parts of the story. So, a friend of mine and I went out to this other restaurant that I'm not going to mention the name. Right? Yeah, it's a restaurant slash bar. Ne? So my friend and I meet up there. Right? I arrived first. So when I arrived, there were these four men besides the table that I sat on. Right? Then my friend arrived, and then we're catching up. We're looking nice. We're taking content. Everything is nice, right? Then a waiter comes, and then he's like the waiter for those guys, not our waiter. He comes to us on some, I was sent by that group to ask you guys which shots would you like, you know? And then we're like, my friend drinks tequila, I drink blowjob. I know that's I know how that sounds like. But yeah. So they bring my 3 blowjobs and her 3 tequila. Okay, cool. And then we order happily. Then we chill. So while we're chilling, one of the guys comes, right? Okay, cool. He comes, he sits next to my friend, blah, 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 blah. Introduces himself. Oh, hi, blah, 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 blah. Just normal conversation, you know. Okay, cool. He then says, he tells me, he's like, I like your friend. And I'm like, tell her she's like literally in front of you. Like, and then he's like, you can tell her for me, and then I can tell her that my friend likes you. I'm like, which of your friends? He points at him. And I'm like, but why are you speaking on his behalf? He's like, let me call him. He's gonna speak for himself. He calls him by the name. I can't mention his name. And then he comes through. Okay, cool. Guys, it's not the first time you get approached by somebody who's your dad's age or whatever, an older man, a matured man. Like, so for me, it wasn't a shock, that these male are, it's either they wanted something or it happens. Honestly, it happens, right? Then we have a conversation. They end up joining our table, like all of them. Then it's a vibe, blah 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 blah. We all chilling, we're drinking. Now it's nice. The vibe is nice. They even paid our bill. Right. Now it's time to go home. So who did? Before I knew that he's my dad, already I was calling him dad. Oh, I skipped the part that Udedi was wearing a ring. But I didn't ask because it was none of my business. Okay? It was literally none of my... Sorry to the married men, but we know y'all are nasty out there. So there was no need for me to ask. Cool. When I leave, we Ubered. We Ubered different because my friend was going to her own place. I was going to my own place. And then Udedi asked for my numbers. I gave Udedi judging. You can judge me. I gave him my numbers. Cool. Later, he checked up on me. Are you home safe? I'm home safe. I'm also home safe. Good night. We'll talk tomorrow. Okay. Good night, Daddy. Nice vibes, right? I slept. In the morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? How was your night? Those casual conversations. Then fast forward, he asked for a date, and of course I went. Right. When I see him this time around, he's not wearing the ring. So I'm thinking, like in my head, I'm like, he's probably married. He removed it because of me. But also now that he has removed it, I'm not going to ask anything about it. Cool. We had a nice date. The date was nice. Fast forward, Daddy and I are now dating. Right? Okay, at that time, my boyfriend and I are now my boyfriend and I are now dating. I found a man he's not bad looking. He's just okay. He's okay. He treats me right. We are dating and it's nice. Casually dating. Like when I call him, I get him. Like everything was nice. Everything was normal. We would go out on dates. We'd go out drink together. Everything was nice. And his friend would be there and my friend would be there. It was a vibe. All right. So now, mind you, I don't know my dad. Truthfully, I don't know my dad. My mom just told me that my dad abandoned us. They broke up. And yeah, he just basically he didn't think that my mom was telling the truth, because apparently, not that I'm exposing my mom, but my mom was busy with another male while dating my dad at the time. So my dad didn't like trust that it's his child, I'm his child. And at the time, there were not that there were no DNAs, but people were not educated about DNAs, especially Manpumi Makaya. They're not educated about DNAs and stuff, right? So that's how, So I've never met my dad. Cool. So now fast forward, I don't know if something bothered him or whatever, but miraculously, my boyfriend, spoke to my mom on Facebook. How's life? Like, catching up with your ex. How's life? Blah, 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 blah. Ngiyaphila. Unjani umntana? And then my mom was like, ubuzela ngomntana because wampika, And then my boyfriend was like, my boyfriend was like, how were you telling the truth that was my child? And then my mom said, I was telling the truth. Why would I lie? And then it was a thing with, you were messing with me and messing with this other guy. Blah, 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 blah. They were fighting. My mom made me read the conversation. Yeah, you were busy with this other guy, so how was I supposed to trust you? Are you really, really sure that's my child? Like, yeah, do you know what this would do? Because now I'm a married man. Hey, so this child, but I can't let my child grow up without knowing me, blah, 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 blah. If this is true, can we do a DNA? All of a Sunday, sefundisiwe and sefundisiwe ama-DNA. Bengayicabanga i-DNA all along. My mom is like, I don't mind. You get? Sharp. Then my mom calls me like, well, you need to come home. I need to tell something. Cool, I go. I'm not even expecting anything. I go, we have a talk. My mom is like, guess who sent me an inbox on Facebook? I'm like, who is like your dad? My dad. Like, yep. Your dad is a married man, blah, 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 blah. And he wants to meet you, but he wants to do DNA. I agreed, but that's if you are okay with it. Do you want to meet him? I mean, I was happy. I met my dad and I asked my mom, since he's saying you were messing with another man, are you sure he's my dad? My mom is like, I'm 100% sure. Like, okay, I'm like, if you are sure, then I don't mind. And if you are okay with it as well, because I need to check if you are okay. My mom is like, I don't mind. If you want to meet your dad, it's okay with me. Okay, cool. And then they set up a date where we're going to meet, and then so that we can go do DNA test. The day arrives. The day where I lost a man. The day where I lost a man and gained a dad. I'm laughing, but it's actually not funny. So the day arrives, my mom and I arrive first, right? Let me just do part 2 because this thing is finishing. So let's go to part 2. So this is part 2 where now my mom and I are sitting, waiting for my dad. Right. So we sit and then I saw something familiar. Like I saw something familiar, something that I know walking towards us. Something that I know under sheets, something that I know. Coming towards us. Right? Then in my head I'm thinking, this person is gonna greet us and my mom is gonna be shocked about what am I doing with Umuntu, like I was kinda embarrassed. So I say to my mom, let me go to the bathroom. I'm pressed. My mom says, okay, cool. Then I go to the bathroom, right? Like, because I'm thinking, udlulile phela baby. And earlier on, we had actually spoken, and I said to him, I'm going to meet up with my mom. I didn't tell him what's happening. And then he was like, okay, cool. I'm going to have a very busy day today. I have meetings back to back. Okay, so my man is working hard and I need him to work hard. Do you get? Sharp. So he now, so I'm like, okay, surely, you know, and in my head I'm thinking, what if it was food? Because I think there was Woolworths closer to us. I'm like, what if I'm going to be Woolworths and then just open for but I'm like, I'll cross the bridge when I get there because I can't sit in the bathroom forever. Cool. I walk out of the bathroom. And as I approach, I'm like, man. He's telling to be a fan. He's telling somebody, did he see me go into the bathroom? Is introducing himself to my mom. Am I about to get married? What's happening? Did my mom just meet his son-in-law? Like, I'm confused. Then I walk. I'm like, I can't turn back. I have to go face the music. I'm just thinking of the last that I'm going to tell my mom in my head. My mom is going to be disappointed. You know? And then our eyes locked each other. And then he gives me this eye like, you know, don't say anything. Or, you know, am I not the one who's supposed to be doing that? Don't tell my mom, you know. And then I greet. I'm like, Sanbonani. Like, Ebo Sawubona sis. Like, now he's greeting me like he's never met me before. Now I'm also, because I'm like, okay, I don't know the situation. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what he's told my mom. Sanbonani, Sawubona. And then I sit down. And then my mom goes, or my mom taps him, and then he says, Uyekelo. Uyuban manje. Like, Uyelo. And then he looks at me. I look at him. We both look at my mom. And then I ask my mom, Ngenzeni? You know? And then my mom is like, this is your dad. Like, I don't know what happened in my head. My who? This is your dad. Kanjan. I'm just like, my dad. My father. He's like, yeah. And then he looks at me. And then he's like, is this your mom? I'm like, at this point, I don't even know whether to deny my mom or what. I'm like, yes, this is my mom. We looked at each other. Ne? Yapheli episode. Nami ngisalinde ukuthi ba-release nje in episode ngibona ukuthi kahle kahle lesa story sagcinaphi because I can't wait to see ukuthi what's gonna happen after that. Okay, this is part 3 of how I fell in love with a man only to find out that is my dad. So on the last episode, it was when my mom was introducing us and we looked at each other, right? So in that looking at each other, my mom sees Uti, we're looking at each other. And then she goes, do you guys know each other? I say yes, he says no. Do you understand ukuthi lo muntu wangiphika ngakazalwa? Uzongiphika futhi uyangiphinda futhi uyangiphika. Shuthi nje yahlehle mina ngophikiwe. And then it's just all confusing. Like kuvele kwa dark mina. I took my bag and I left. I went to the bathroom. I was so confused, guys. I locked myself inside a public bathroom and I was just confused about, like, It felt like I'm in a movie. It felt like I'm in a dream. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to act. I didn't cry. I didn't laugh. I guess I was just numb because I'm like, what is happening here? Like, somebody wake me up. Do you get this person? We don't even look alike. Even if we looked alike, guys, I mean, how many people look alike? We were not there. Maybe Footy, I don't even look like his kids that he has. Do you know? And I'm thinking, my mom told me this guy's a married man, happily married. So that is why I saw the ring the first time. And now he wasn't wearing the ring so that it does not show me. Because he never told me that he's married. Right? That's number one. But today that he's sitting with my mom, he's wearing the ring. So this guy has been lying to me all along. Do you get? But this is like 8 months down the line. This is time where mina I'm in love. Nginendoda engithandayo, nginendoda that helps me pay my rent. And he doesn't know what he's paying for his daughter. Uyamsupporter indirectly. Do you get? And then I go home, I switch off my phone for like 3 days. I didn't even tell my friend. I didn't tell anybody. I just went AWOL. And I'm one person who's very social. Like, I post everything. Even if I drink water, I will post that I'm drinking water. So my friend, we confused with table because there's no way she's not going to post anything for 3 days. That it will rain. Then finally I'm online. Hey, Tommy, are you fine? Then I answer the people that matter. Yeah, I'm fine. I get my mom's text saying, come home when you're ready. You know. Then I get his text. His text was saying, hey, baby, we need to meet up. So now I'm confused with which baby am I now? Am I baby? Or am I now baby the child? As I get that confused, I didn't know how to respond because how do I move from calling you and I'm like, I made him feel young because I'm younger. So I would say things like, hey, when I am shows, keep on, you get. So how then do I move from that to saying dad? Or like, I was just so confused, guys. Like, I was so confused. And then I said, I don't think I'm ready. He's like, but we have to. And I'm like, okay, cool. We meet the next day. Right? I get this time around, he's wearing his ring fully. Now he has nothing to hide. He's wearing his ring fully. So I sit down. Like, I just smiled. I'm like, well, it was not laughter. It was like, you know, like, you know. And then he was so serious. Hi. And I'm like, Sawubona. This time around, it's like, it's not like Shontwana or I'm like, Sawubona. And he's like, Unjani. Ngiyaphila. He's like, we have to talk about lento eyenzakalele. I'm like, okay. So he says, I know your mother. Your mother and I used to date a long time ago, you know, so years ago. And things didn't work out between the two of us. Oh, okay. Like, yeah, she fell pregnant and I didn't think that it's going to be my child. Because she was also messing up with another nigger. And honestly, I don't blame my mom. Niggas ain't shit. Now I'm going and I was going to mess up with another nigga. Because it means that I'm cheating, right? Why did she mess up with another nigga? But that's not the story. That's a story for another day. So then I'm like, okay. So he's like, I would still like us to proceed with the DNA. You know? And I'm just like, because if we continue with this DNA and it proves that really, really, really I'm his child, you move mostly, because that just means he's my dad. Like, I'm gonna have to call him dad. now? How do I move from nigger to dad? Ntwana yami to dad? This is somebody that I've been I won't confused, intimate with. How do I even respect him after that? Like, the fact that my mom and I have the same taste in men. Like, no ways, no. No. Now I'm replaying the whole thing. No. And then I'm like, okay, cool, we'll continue with the DNA. Sorry. And then we set up a date. I tell my mom, it's okay. I met up with Udaddy. Manje noma seku-Udaddy, what dad? Noma kusa Udaddy loya, oh daddy. You get it? It's okay. I tell my mom, right, we meet up for the DNA. We've not told my mom, actually, because I asked him, what did he tell my mom? And then he said, he just, but he didn't tell my mom, him and I, yeah, I think I skipped that part. Sorry, guys. And, okay, cool. We do the DNA. And then as we wait, how long did we wait? I think it was like 7 days. He still checks up on me. Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. But we were not meeting because I think we were just like scared. Also, we're going to meet on what basis now? And in my head, I was like, for the very first time, I've always wanted to see my dad or meet my dad. But during that period, 7 days, I wish my mom did not tell me, or I wished that they did not find each other on Facebook. I did not want to meet my dad anymore because I was just like, Aibo. So I fell in love with my dad. Also, I can see the fact that I fell in love with a married man. That's a story for another day. It happens, boom, boom, boom. But I fell in love with my dad. Like, Jay, mind you, this whole thing is still heavy on me because I'm not sharing it with anybody. None of my friends know. I'm right. You get it? So now we wait. Right? Ufike ngoku the 7th day. 7th day, we meet. So my mom and I go together. Right? The results arrived. So we want to open the results. Sonke siphelele. C3. And mind you, Lama DNA results were taken by somebody that he knows. So we don't know if they were rigged or kwenzakalani, but it's okay. In my head, I was hoping he's not my dad. Have you ever hoped and I hope this is not my dad? Comes with a white envelope. Okay, cool. He opens the envelope. He's the one who opened. He opens the envelope. And then he just froze. And I'm thinking, why are you freezing now, my nigga? He froze. This is part 4 of how I fell in love with a man only to find out that he's my dad. So he opens the envelope and he froze. That moment right there is when everything changed. Everyone's life changed that minute he opened the envelope. I remember my eyes were teary. Thinking about it now, I still get emotional because it was just too much. It was just too much. How do I even tell my mom what has been happening? Because she does not know anything. She does not know what has been happening behind the scenes, under the sheets, behind closed doors, secret meetings. And he gave my mom the results. My mom cried. My mom wept. And now I'm thinking, is she crying because I'm his child? Or is she crying because I'm his child? And they're confused because I've not seen the results. They're passing the results to each other. Then my mom gives me the results, telling him, I told you. I didn't even have to look at the result because at this point I knew. When she said, I told you. And then I looked at it, 99.9. I cried. I cried because at this point I'm not even sure if am I crying because I lost a boyfriend or am I crying because I gained a dad? I had mixed emotions. I was kind of relieved, but also kind of disgusted, but also angazi man. I just lost a man. I gained a dad. Which one is better? You know? And then now they're fighting in front of me. I told you, I'm so sorry. But I told you, I'm so sorry. And I looked at him. Like, I looked at him. He did not know what to say. And I said to him, why? Like, why? Why? Honestly, guys, I blamed him. I totally blamed him. Like, why? Because my mom told you, I'm pregnant. I have your child. And you said it's not my child. I asked him, why? Why? Then it's like, I don't know what to say. I'm like, you have to say something. Because she told you, why didn't you ask for a DNA test then? Why are you asking for a DNA test now? Do you understand what you've done? Do you understand the damage that you've done? Like, I honestly put all the blame on him. I even forgot, but I gave him my numbers voluntarily so. And I'm like, why? Why? Also, it's the fact that now my dad is gonna know that, okay, I'm capable of dating a man his age. Aibo. Like, do you understand what you've done? I kept on telling him, do you understand what you have done? Do you understand what you have done? He took his car keys and left. My mom and I just hugged and we both cried. She's crying a cry of relief, which at least now my child has found her father. She's relieved. I'm crying because of izono zami. Mna ke ngoku sendikhaliswa zizono zami, ndikhaliswa izinto endizaziyo that she does not know. And I just said to my mom, I'm so sorry. She's like, no, don't be. I'm like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, no, don't be. I'm like, Mom, I have to go and digest this. And then I left. I went straight to my place. Guys, did I not cry? Did I not cry that day? Did I not cry that day? Because now this changes everything. How do I call him dad after all these things? Like, how am I going to look at him? How is he going to look at me as his daughter? Because he knows me. Like, he knows me. Is he not going to look at me and think of, you know, am I not going to look at him and saba well? Do you get, like, it's a very, very, very tricky situation. And we were all confused about what's going to happen now. I think after 3 days, I sent him a text. He didn't say anything. He He didn't say anything. He didn't check up on me. He didn't say anything. Then on the third day, I asked him, so what's going to happen now? And then he says, with what? What do you mean with what? He's like, nothing's going to happen. Nothing. The nothing, now I'm your daughter, so that nothing is not going to happen. Or the nothing, me and you. Which nothing is nothing in here. And then he's like, we obviously can't continue because of the situation. Fuck yeah, we're not gonna continue. I also don't want to continue with my dad. Like, and then it's like, I'm so sorry for everything. I hope one day you're gonna forgive me. I want to make things right as your father. And I'm so sorry that you've had to see me in situations where you were not supposed to see me. I know the size of my dad's dick, guys, yo. Like, I know my dad's dick size. I know my dad's favorite position. Like, how do we even... I just thank God that I did not become pregnant. Imagine if I was pregnant and I had to give birth to his granddaughter or grandson / his son. Like, I was just like, I was in awe, honestly. I was shocked, and I was just like, I was in a very dark place. I've had dark places in my life, but that was the darkest. That was not dark, that was black. That was a black time of my life. There was like a black time of my life. Not even a dark, a black life of my life. Black time of my life. You know? And I'm like, okay, cool. You know? Funny enough, I was still speaking to him casually. I would say things like, okay, cool. Because I still can't bring myself to say, okay, Dad, or... Like, who are you now? Because first, I'm disgusted by the fact that you denied me. Secondly, you lied to me and said you lied to me. You didn't tell me that you're married. So now I've got siblings. I've always known myself as me and my younger sister, which we don't share a dad, my mom's child as well. So now I have other siblings. What are they gonna say when they meet me? Are we even gonna meet? Like, now I wanted to know about what is his game plan. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys the next part on the next video. So now this is part 5 of how I fell in love with a man only to find out he's my dad. So now we are at a part where I was confused. Like, I was having a conversation with him, wanting to see where his head is at, what's going to happen now. And there was an elephant in the room. The elephant in the room, how are we going to tell my mom? Are we even going to tell her? We had a long conversation about that, and in all honesty, I was so scared. Because imagine my mom finding out that her daughter was involved with her ex, who happens to be her real father. Also, while we are on that, I think it's important for us to, when we date, let's ask each other surnames. Not that I did not know my father's surname. My mom had told me about him. My mom had told me my dad's surname. But when I Well, when I spoke with the guy at first, I did not ask him his surname, but I had seen it on his card, right? But it just didn't click my mind. Honestly, it just did not click my mind. Because I can't say I didn't know his surname. I knew it because it was on his card. He has given me his card to go pay for something. But it just did not click my mind. And when I saw the card, we were already dating. I mean, for him to give me his card, I was already his girlfriend. You get? But it just did not click my mind at all. Right? Okay, cool. So we have that conversation, and then we both agree that we're not going to tell my dad because we're not going to tell my mom, sorry. We're not going to tell my mom because it'll be traumatizing for her. That will be just a lot. So we decided, okay, we're not going to tell her, you know. For how long, I don't know. Fast forward, remember, I've not told anybody. Even the friend that I went out with does not know. So now, how does my friend find out? So remember that when I met him, he was with his friend, and his friend had a thing with my friend. Mind you, the friend is not married, so him and my friend, they are legit. He's not married, you know. And I'll tell you how I also find out that he is not married. Right. I just found out that Ngobile is so and so's daughter. Mentions my mom. Is so and so's daughter. That makes her my child. You know? And the friend is like, that's not possible. Then my dad is like, yep, we did DNA test. And she turns out to be my child. And then it was a friend confiding to a friend, right? So the guy goes to my friend thinking that my friend already knows. When they meet up, he asks, anyway, how is your friend? Like, my friend is fine, but I've not spoken to her in a while. She's just AWOL. I don't even know what's going on with her. And then my friend's boyfriend is like, yeah, no, I understand. It must be hard. And my friend is like, what must be hard? I'm like, no, I'm finding out that you've been messing up with your father. My friend's like, what do you mean? Then the guy's like, I mean, my friend is your friend's dad. My friend gets shocked, like, what? Where did you hear that from? That is not true. Then the boyfriend is like, she didn't tell you. Like, no, I don't know anything about that. So she knows that that's her dad. Like, yeah, they just found out. Then the boyfriend unpacks the story to my friend before I even got the chance to tell my friend, you know? So then my friend calls me. I'm still AWOL as fuck. Like, I don't want to meet up. I don't want to do anything. And then she comes to my place unannounced. Securities know her. They open for her. Then I heard the knock at the door. I went and opened. She found me. I pretended to be okay. I was like, hi. And then, why did you tell me that you're coming? And she's like, because you went AWOL. And I'm calling you, you're not answering. And I'm like, ugh, I'm fine. It's just one of those days. You know, I just didn't feel like talking to anybody, whatever. And then she's like, what's going on with you? I'm like, nothing. She's like, no, what's really, 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 really going on with you? Then I said to her, it's a long story for another day. And then she says, friend, I'm sorry. I'm like, sorry for what? She's like, I know. Oh, umtelile. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, I'm so sorry. If there's one thing I hate is when I'm going through something and somebody says sorry, which is the reason why I would sometimes don't share. Well, most of the times, I will not share what is happening with me. And then she says sorry. Then we started crying together. She's just like, I'm so sorry. So how are you going to tell your mom? Then I tell her that Me and Mugai, we decided that we're not going to tell my mom. I'm still talking about him as like Mugai because I still can't call him dad. It was just too early for me to call him dad. I am mourning the fact that I lost a man, so I can't call him dad. Imagine. So I'm mourning the fact that I lost a dad and forgetting to celebrate that I have a father. But how do I celebrate that I have a father if I found out this way? Nobody wants to find out about their parents or the way that I did. Like, no one wants to find that out the way that I did. That was the worst way to find my dad. I could have found him Kokumbelekaya or something, or Utatako. Finding out about him like that, for me there was just, I was like, God, like, take me now, because what is this? And now I'm gonna have a secret that I need to go to the grave with, because I can't tell my mom that, yo, I was with your ex. Do you get? That is going to hurt my mom. So now I have this thing that I need to bottle inside. Every time I see my mom, how am I going to feel? Because I can't tell her what's inside me, because it's going to break her too. Then what's going to happen? And how long am I going to be able to keep this secret? How long am I supposed to be quiet about this? I was so mad. I was even mad at the guy because, first of all, he did not tell me that he's married. Like, that was what irritated me the most, because I'm like, it was going to be better if you had approached me and I found out that you're married and I didn't date you. Then I was going to say, oh, some guy who approached me is my dad. But now it's a guy that I've been with who's my dad. Tell me if that makes sense to anyone. Tell me if you were to find out that your daughter is messing up with your ex, you'd understand. Tell me that you would be okay that you've been messing up with your mother's ex. Tell me that you would be okay with it. Tell me that you'll be... So this is now part 6, where I've not told my mom the truth, and I'm not talking to my ex / my dad because we don't have anything to talk about, and there's no way forward. We just found out that we are Ngzala, and that was it. There was nothing that he was doing. He was not reaching out to me as a daughter to ask me how I feel, because he was selfish. He was only thinking about how this is going to destroy his family. And I dare say the only reason why he said we shouldn't tell my mom, I don't think it's because he didn't want to hurt my mom. I think it was his selfish reasons. He didn't want to ruin his image. Yes, when we agreed that we're not going to tell my mom, my reason was my mom is going to be hurt. But with him, he only cared about his image. What is this going to do to his wife? Where was your wife when you were on top of me? Where was your wife when you were calling me baby? You didn't think that you had a wife when you and I were busy going on vacations? You didn't think that you had a wife when you come to my place? You're only thinking about your wife and kids now. Where were they all along? So the whole time when you were taking off your ring coming to me, you didn't think that you had a wife. When we were going out, you didn't think that maybe by mistake we might bump into your family member. That was selfish. I was at a point where I was so mad. I was mad at myself. I was mad at him. I was mad at both of them. Because at the same time, I'm thinking my mom could have tried harder. I'm thinking, but my dad is just an animal for ukulahla umntanakhe. Ngapha I'm blaming myself. What the fuck am I doing with the man who's matured? Like there was just a lot going on for me. There was just a lot going on. So fast forward, I think after 3 months without any form of contact between him and I would communicate with my mom, but I did not go home face to face because there was no way I could look at my mom after what happened. So 3 months, I sent him a text, right? Hi, sawubona. Now I can't say hi. Whether I like it or not, ubabami, and there needs to be some sort of respect, right? And I'm like, sawubona. He's like, yebo sawubona. I'm like, unjani? Ngiyaphila, ngezwa kuwe. Nami ngiyaphila. So if I didn't text you, you were not gonna text me. He's like, you know our situation. I'm like, yes, I know. So you can't reach out to me as a father to a daughter. You can forget what happened. Well, you can't forget, but we can put it aside. But can't you reach out to me as a daughter? He's like, no, I'm so sorry. I've just been trying to figure this out. What are you figuring out? Like, what exactly are you trying to figure out? It's like how this is going to work, how I'm supposed to have a relationship with you as my daughter, how I'm going to break this to my wife, blah, blah, blah. So this is 3 months down the line, and he still has not told his wife and his family that he has a child outside. I'm like, but I was born before you met your wife. Surely she would understand that it's something into akudala, you know? And then he says, it's not as easy as you say. I was not asking him to tell his wife so that his wife will accept me or anything. I have my own life going on. My mom is happily in a relationship. I've got a stepdad who has played a role of being a father to me. So I don't need anything from his family or from his wife. I'm happy where I am. But first you deny me, and now I become a secret. Tell me how I must feel about that. No, I'm not making you a secret. You just don't want to see things from my point of view. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck, Baba? So I'm supposed to see things from your point of view. Why can't you see things from my point of view? I need a relationship with my dad. I've never had a relationship with my dad for fucking 25 years old. How are you gonna make it up for me the whole 25 years? How are you gonna make it up? You're not even gonna try. You can never make it up, but at least aren't you going to try? He's like, so what do you want me to do? Like, as when I say that man is selfish, that man is selfish. When I say that man is selfish, that man is selfish. So what do you suggest then we do? I'm like, I don't know. But at least now that I have a dad, at least I should have a relationship. Yes, you and I had a relationship, but that was different. Now I need a relationship with my dad. He's like, no, you can call me anytime you need anything. It's not about me needing anything. It's not about money. And now I need a father-to-daughter relationship. We are African people, Am I not going to get introduced to ancestors? Am I not going to change my surname? Like, not that I wanted to change. I was okay with my surname. I'm still okay because I'm still using my surname in some keys. But those were all questions. So you're not even going to offer me to change my surname. You're not even going to try to introduce me to my grandmother, if I still have a grandmother. Like, kwenzakalan. Then he's like, these things take time. They're not going to happen within a blink of an eye. Then I'm like, okay. Because he has not been in my life for 25 years. Like, there was me. Next part. Part 7 of how I fell in love with a man only to find out that is my dad. So now I'm at a point where I am so mad at this guy because of a lot of things. First, I've got abandonment, anger, that he lied. So I've got anger, good, he deceived me by not telling me that he's married. I've got anger, good, in front of my mom. When my mom asked, do you guys know each other? I said yes, he said no. And now he wants to keep me a secret. He's just getting worse. And making me lie to my mom. 5. He keeps on getting worse. What else is next? What's next? So after that conversation with him, where I saw that he's actually selfish, that's when I decided, you know what? Fuck everything. I don't want him in my life. I don't want him as a man. I don't want him as a dad. He's even worse as a dad. He was better when he was my man. Now that he's my dad, I am looking at him with another eye. He's even worse. I decided I'm going home to my mom and I'm going to tell my mom the truth. I went home and I sat down my mom and I told her what I'm about to tell you is going to be very painful. And before I even started talking to my mom, I cried and I apologized to my mom. I'm like, Mama, I am so sorry. First, for what you went through during the pregnancy when you were pregnant with me. I'm sorry for what my dad put you through. And I'm just sorry for what I'm about to tell you. And then my mom was like, what is going on? I told her that I actually know the guy. The day that you introduced me to him, I knew the guy. And I told her how I know. My mom could not believe it. My mom was just like, that must be a lie. I'm like, Mom, I'm not lying. I can't lie about something like this. Then I told her about the conversation that I had with him. And I even told her that we had agreed that we're not going to tell you. But the way he's so selfish, the only reason why he didn't want me to tell you was because he's trying to protect his image. He's not thinking about you. And he's definitely not thinking about me. He has never cared and he's never going to care. I'm so sorry that I've disappointed you. I'm so sorry that I did not become the daughter that you expected me to be. I was so ashamed. So ashamed. Then my mom, in anger, because my mom knows ifemeli yakabo babam, like emakhaya, where they are, right? Because when they met emakhaya, right? So my mom, after I think after a week, my mom said, I'm taking you there without telling my dad, right? We went. When we got there, khona bomalume, well, ngizothi abomalume bami ngizothini. And then my mom told him ukuthi ngilethe umntana ka, mentions my dad by the name. And then she explains to them the whole story. I ate hair. See this hair that we put? And then explains to them about nangumtanenu, one piga usbanbani, 1, 2, 3, explained the story. And even explained to them what happened when it comes to the relationship that I had with him. They were all shocked. Abantu abadala behleli. And now I'm just disgraced uba my mom is bringing me to this family and already ngiyinkinga. Like I'm already a problem. First, ngiyinkinga nje. I'm just bringing problems. Because this is going to cause havoc in the family. This is going to cause havoc in their son's life. With this whole thing. And then they asked me to go outside. They want to talk to my mom. I go outside so they remain and speak as adults. So when they were done after 30 minutes, my mom comes in anger. She comes inside the car and bangs the door. How? Kwenzakalani? My mom is like, these people are full of shit. They're like their son. Okay, am I missing something? Because when I was inside the house, you know how they will always make you no go. My mom comes out and says, these people are full of shit. I'm like, why? They're telling me this thing should not get out. We should wait for a dad to be ready. This whole thing, you guys' relationship, we should just keep it in the family. Imagine isibindi salwamdini. Isibindi salwamdini. Part 8 of how I fell in love with a man only to find out that he's my father. So now my mom and I drove back home, right? And I think while we were still on the way, the uncles then called my dad to tell him, okay, people came here and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He did not waste time. He called me in anger. What the fuck have you done? Excuse me. Like, are you talking to me as your child, or are you talking to me as a girl that you met? Because if you're gonna come to me with that energy of what the fuck, I'm gonna what the fuck back. Best believe. So I need to understand right now, Buti, do I address you as a parent or do I address you as my ex? Because if you want us to go down that road, we can. What do you mean, what the fuck? But I told you I'm going to fix this at my own time. What did you tell your mom? Now your mother went to... Oh, he says your mom has the guts to go to my family. Aye, boo. Your mom had the guts to go to my family. Blah, blah, blah. I told you I'm going to fix that. Why don't you listen? I hung up my call. I was not about to disrespect my father, because the next thing that could have came out of my mouth was fuck you. Literally fuck you. Because how dare you? How dare you? Right? So he went to the family because the uncles summoned him. Uba, Ndoda, you need to come. We need to fix this. The mistake that he did was taking his daughter with him. The cousins were there as well. So the daughter was like, oh, Dad, I'm going to go with you because I've not seen my cousins in a long time. Biggest mistake of his life. Taking the cousin there. Right? So he went there. Bafike bakhuluma nomalume. Kanti the cousins know the story. I think into eyayikhulunywa around the yard, yo, but Usman, how could he do this? And obviously, kids will overhear in zabantu abadala. It happens. Iy'ngane-ke nazo ngokuphapha. Yo, so now you have an older sister. I'm just imagining in my head. I don't know how they told her, but I'm just imagining. So now you have an older sister, blah, 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 blah. Mind you, he has a spoiled brat of a child. The child went to him and was just like, Dad, I hear I have a big sister. Like, I'm just imagining her because... Like, I'm just imagining her right now. That's how she spoke. Because he has spoiled brats. Dad, I have a dad. I have an older sister now. What is this? And that is how the daughter went back home and told the wife. Ubaba has another child. Ubaba is hiding another child from us. We have a big sister out there that Ubaba is not telling us about. Then the wife, obviously, I don't know, they fought or whatever. Right? But because I think shame, umama lawyer, I think because she understood ukuthi, this happened before they met. But now the issue is, why was he not telling her after he found out? Why did he not tell her, I just found out about ndinomntana? You know? Okay. So now the lady and my dad calls me. He's like, can you come to our place? So and so and so. We're going to be doing bra. I want to introduce you to your sister and your brother. I'm the oldest. Then comes the boy. Then the daughter is the last born. I want to introduce you to your brother and your sister and my wife. Say, okay. I wanted to see, like, I honestly did not care about his wife. I just wanted to see my siblings. I was excited that I'm going to have another sibling. Remember, from my mom's side, I have a little sister, but now I get to have a brother too. You know, cool, we agree. Then I went there, and the look that the brother gave me, my younger brother, who's the oldest, that's on my dad's side, who's like after me, he comes after me. The look he gave me, guys, when I say umuntu akuzonde ngakwazi, the look he gave me, because I came, I greeted everybody, and the younger sister was just like, hello. She was just like, okay, you know, at least she was okay. And the woman, the look she gave me, the woman and the brother, the look they gave me, I literally wanted to dig a hole and shove myself inside it. It was so uncomfortable. You know, umuntu akujonge, man, like umuntu akubuke from the feet going up. Like akubuke. She had said she wants to meet me because I am his child. Kanti, she wanted to question me. Remember, now she knows the truth. Ukuthi ubaba wami bekabhizi nami. She wanted to question me. So I think she had briefed the son, but they did not tell the little sister. Because the little sister was okay. Hi. But the look that the boy gave me and the look that the mother gave me. Yazi wangibuka lo mama ne. Umbona umuntu uthi cha uyamnyanyisa. You are disgusting to her. My dad and the son went to the braai area. And then I sat by the pool, right? With the little sister, right? And then she sent the little sister, what did she send her? To go get something in her room, I think. And then I remained with her. Then she goes, so zizanjani into ba urhexeza notatakho? She's Xhosa. My dad could have made it, I'm sorry, I don't mean anything bad about Xhosas, but she could have made it, another time for my sake. So feel njani ba urhexeza notatakho? Another question, eh? And I was like, angizwanga ma. She's like, ngihambiza umamakho mina. Andingomamakho. Xa unjongeni mfana nomamakho. Uziva njani ba ulala notatakho? And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck? Like, what have I brought myself into? I was never ready for that question. And I couldn't answer. And I just said to her, it was a mistake. She's like, mistake njani umuntu olingana notatakho. Let's say it was not your dad. Mistake njani umuntu olala notatakho. Guys, amahloni kimi. Amahloni kimi. Next part. Part 9 of how I fell in love with a man only to find out that is my dad. Wandithuka lwa mama, my father's wife. Wangithuka. I was born by mncinci. What were you doing with old man? It means this is what you do. Is this how you were raised? Is this how your mother raised you? No, baphofu ufana nomamako. I flipped. The worst thing she could have said was mention my mom. She shouldn't have. I flipped. Literally, I said, angizwanga. She's like, unve kahle. Inoba nomamako unjalo. Yena nto akufundisa yona leyo. Ngathi that is rich coming from you. Why ungabuza umyeni wakho ukuthi kutheni ehamba eshela amantombazana amancinci? Have you asked yourself about that? Have you asked yourself how many girls has he approached? Because only to find out that it's not me alone. So why can't you question yourself for your husband going to look for something else outside when he has you? Why are you not questioning yourself? Why is your husband busy outside with young girls? What is wrong with you? Have you ever thought about that? One book. Ngathi, don't you ever in your life insult my mother. You can do everything else. Don't you ever in your life insult my mother. Then she's like, you'll never be part of this family. And I said, good for me, because I never wanted to be part of this family, and I don't want to be part of this family. I took my bag. I left. I even left without saying goodbye. It was not safe for me. I didn't feel safe. What if Lanyama had something in it? I literally went out, and my dad was like, what is going on? I left. I did not answer. And I went to my mom crying. Can you imagine? Definitely on my mamba, this woman says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 about me. My mom was just like, Phuma kulabantu. Phuma kulabantu. Phume nakubaba wakho. At least now you know the type of a man your father is. At least you've met him. Yini enye. It's not like there's anything azokwenzela yona emhlabeni. Yini enye asayifuna kuwena. And clearly, if you like, he will never accept you. So you don't even have to involve yourself. Don't be hurt about it. Just be okay. Be content. Nangu baba kokhona, referring to my stepdad. Nangu baba kokhona uyathanda like his own child. Awushoti ngalutho nami ngikhona. In my words, my mom was just saying fuck them, but obviously she can't say fuck them. But that's how I received it. Oba, fuck them. So that is how me and my dad, things never became, we've never had that relationship. I know him, I know where he stays, but we still don't have a father and daughter relationship till today. At least I know him. At least when he dies, I will know where to go to bury him. At least I know his surname, and I know what my dad's surname is, but I didn't even change that surname. Well, Pofu, he didn't even pay damages for my mom. So obviously I can't use his surname. And I've never been to Ifemil Yake ever since that day meeting. So we still don't have a relationship. Even after I've met him or whatever. I guess his family is more important than I am. I literally don't care. I don't need him. I don't need him. He clearly does not need me. So that's where I am now. And I think I'm okay. I've healed. I'm content. Do you get? That is how I can explain the story now 2 years down the line without crying. I cried for months. You can imagine ubabako. I mean, you now understand ngingane yakho. How do you not care? How do you choose your wife over me? Because basically he chose his wife. For him not to say anything to me after that, what does that say about him? As a man, as a father, what does that say? I don't want a relationship with that man. He's selfish. And his wife is rude as fuck. Even if they see this video, I don't give a fuck. That woman is rude. That woman is fucking rude. I don't even think if my dad were to pass out, I'd even go to the funeral. I despise that man. I despise that man. He is so selfish. Very udaisu fishy. I'm even ashamed to call him my dad. Maybe he's also ashamed of calling me his daughter. That's just how my story is. That's how it happened. And that's where I currently am between my dad. Him and my mom don't communicate. Me and him, we don't communicate. Mina ngiright in the family yami ngapha, naye uright in the family yakhe ngale. That's it. I just pray I never bump into him. That's all. And that's how my story ends. That's how I fell in love with a man only to find out that he's my dad. And that's the end of the story. And I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening to my story, which is not my story. Bingdlala. I have never slept with a man and only to find out that is my dad. I didn't fall in love with a man only to find out that is my dad. That has never happened. I know my father. I know my father. Okay, my dad passed away. May his soul rest in peace. But that's not the story. Bengidlala Nkosi yami. And I know most of you are going to be so mad at me. But I still love you guys. Thank you guys for just engaging. This was actually fun. Thank you so much, guys. I love you all.